Steam may have thousands of games available, but how many of them are actually good? My name is Graeldon, and this is Steam Sequence, a series where I complete Steam games in alphabetical order to hopefully uncover some hidden gems. So let's see if today's game, #KillAllZombies, is one of them. I wasn't expecting to review two twin-stick shooters back-to-back, but here we are. Although it released in 2016, #KillAllZombies looks, sounds, and plays like a game from the early 2000s era. It's from a time when story didn't matter as much, and it was about the gameplay and the action and just generally having a good time. Unfortunately, it's not the early 2000s anymore, and standards have changed. Just like how we realised that wearing denim everything isn't a great fashion choice, we realised that games that have as much complexity as a shallow puddle should be left in the past. After doing a bit of research, I also found that #KillAllZombies not only released on Steam, but also on the Xbox One, PS3, PS4, Switch, and even the PS Vita. Being on multiple platforms doesn't necessarily mean it's a good game though. Unless you're talking about Skyrim, which I'm pretty sure is available on every console ever, including ones in parallel dimensions. Looking at SteamDB, this game did see some success, peaking at nearly 4,000 players shortly after launch, and I'm not the only person to be playing it at the moment, which could be a positive sign. There's a chance that this game could be like a fine wine, aging and improving with time. But I think it's more likely to be like a glass of milk. After it's been out for a week, no one wants it. In typical fashion for the quality of games reviewed on this channel, #KillAllZombies has an incredibly basic options menu, foregoing any kind of graphical customization at all. Thankfully, there are at least audio sliders. There are 3 game modes available: Survival, Vault Defense, and Co-op mode. There are also leaderboards for each, and it's quickly apparent that the reason there is a lack of any real plot is because this is a score-chasing game. It's all about learning the mechanics, developing strategies, and aiming for the highest score possible in order to have virtual bragging rights over your friends. Which of course are only relevant if said friends also play this game, which is statistically unlikely. We're going to be ignoring co-op mode for this review, so let's begin with a look at survival mode. There is only one map to play on, although there are slight variations in the placement of the 4 entrances on the edges where the hordes of zombies will appear from. The ground is made up of hexagons, which are used to display various patterns when new waves of zombies approach, but are also used as hazards by either rising up to form temporary barricades or fall away completely to form pits. This provides some welcome variation to the otherwise static map, which is necessary as a single round can last for quite a while. There is actually an achievement for surviving for an hour. In addition to the shifting and changing floor, a wide variety of objects will also fall from the sky, crushing any unfortunate zombies or players underneath. These start as camper vans and ambulances that can be destroyed for XP and health pickups, but gradually become more and more meta, to the point where giant potatoes and Tetris blocks are the new normal. Speaking of XP pickups, you can also earn XP for each zombie killed, and when increasing a level, you earn a perk point. Despite the game telling you to use these as soon as they are earned, it's actually better to save them for emergencies. This is because when spending a point, you get to choose from a selection of 4 random perks, which could do anything from restoring your health, making you temporarily invisible or run faster, reduce your reload speed, drop landmines all around you, explode all nearby zombies, resurrect you after your next death, make you invincible, or just straight up kill you and end your game instantly. The variety of perks available is honestly impressive, but the fact that there are so many negatively impacting ones mixed in is pretty confusing game design. After a few rounds, it boiled down to seeking out the few useful ones and only spending perks when surrounded by zombies so that the more explosive ones weren't wasted. Moving on from perks, let's discuss weapons. You start each round with a basic pistol to fend off the shambling undead, which dispatches the first few waves easily enough, but you'll definitely need to upgrade fairly early on. This is one aspect that #KillAllZombies does fairly well, providing an interesting arsenal of weapons that feel good to use. New weapons start to appear after crossing a timer threshold rather than a kill count, and upgrading from the starter pistol to a revolver that can pierce through multiple zombies feels substantial. Over time, you'll progress through various semi and fully automatic weapons, a rocket launcher, a minigun, and even some alien weaponry retrieved from a destroyed UFO. Each weapon feels unique, with visuals and sound effects to match. Discovering and trying new weapons was one of the highlights of the game. That said, some weapons with long sustained firing times had minor glitches where the sound effect would simply stop playing after a while. New weapons aren't the only mechanic tied to the timer though, as at regular intervals you'll be greeted with fresh waves of zombies to mow down and new zombie types. Fast zombies, fat zombies, zombie dogs, exploding zombies, and scattered throughout, boss zombies that come with their own unique intro scene to announce their arrival. These provide some tough challenges and have special mechanics that need to be figured out in order to defeat them. Again, while this is great in theory, it fell short in implementation. Take the first boss monster, Dongarino, as an example. It creates a shockwave that you need to run from if you get too close, so keep a distance and fire away at it, right? Wrong. Even though the sound effect of the bullets hitting sounds exactly like that of any other zombie, you actually need to wait for a small particle effect to appear, which indicates that he's vulnerable, and then you will actually do damage. When this happens, there is a unique sound effect played that only happens when damaging boss monsters. I wasn't aware of this the first time I fought him. I fired everything I could at him for about 6 minutes before finally dying. Maybe I should have been paying more attention, but I'm going to chalk this one up to bad game design. If you want a player to know that an enemy is either invulnerable or vulnerable, find some way to make that information readily apparent. Anyway, survival mode carries on in this manner for, well, ever, or at least until you die. I got far enough to see all 4 of the boss monsters. Technically. I saw the intro cutscene for the final one and stupidly thought that the game would be paused while this was shown. I was wrong, as I was promptly murdered while I was unable to see what was going on. That said, I did unlock all the guns, so that's finished in my books. Vault Defense is unfortunately extremely similar to survival mode, but with 2 key differences. The first difference is that there is now a base in the middle and zombies will target that instead of you. Weirdly though, this means that the health bar is now for the base, but it still replenishes when picking up medkits. What are we doing, try to hold together a damaged base with band-aids? The second difference is that you're able to build automated turrets to defend the base. A core mechanic of this that I unfortunately missed the first time is that you can swap your weapon with the one that a turret is currently using. This adds some much needed tactical depth and creates a use for all the weapon pickups that otherwise went ignored in survival mode. Why would you pick up an inferior weapon if it causes your awesome one to vanish? Other than that, it's basically the same premise. Survive for as long as you can. Again, in the spirit of finishing the game, I lasted long enough to see the most powerful weapons start to appear and was killed not too long after that. That meant that I survived for 1 hour and 16 minutes in a single match. So, you might be wondering how I went on the leaderboards, considering that this is a score chasing game after all. Well, I reached rank 41 in survival mode and rank 44 in Vault Defense mode. I wasn't expecting to be in the top 50 players, but hey, maybe I found my true calling. Yeah, no, I have zero interest in playing this game again. Don't get me wrong, there are moments of fun to be found here. There will always be a part of my brain that finds some amount of satisfaction in seeing numbers go up. That's why I've sunk hundreds upon hundreds of hours into RuneScape after all. But the actual gameplay itself is so repetitive that unless you've got friends to compete with, it's not really worth it. And even then, there are better games in this genre you can pick up for the same price or less. I think my issues with the game come down to 2 main points. No real identity in terms of theme, plot, or game universe, and no real sense of progression between rounds. Progression could have been as simple as being able to spend cash earned in the Vault Defense mode to unlock incremental upgrades. And the world that they've created that starts serious and it becomes increasingly meta and jokey ends up causing more harm than anything, because as a player, I just disconnect from the experience. It ends up becoming mindless and generic, which is why my rating for #KillAllZombies is a basic zombie out of 10. It's just another zombie shooter in a sea of zombie shooters. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying these videos, why not help out by liking the video? And while you're there, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of this weird gaming journey. If you've already done both, then hey, thank you. And until next time, take care.